Akala ko may snow dito.
Just gonna go to a target place and they gonna say like, oh, asang anak. Parang napaka-disrespectful din kasi.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Alan. Welcome to our planet. And today we've got a really special video for you guys. It might be a little different from what we usually do, but we do think that you guys might find it interesting and insightful. As we know, white privilege is something that doesn't just exist in the West. It also exists in Asia as well. But one thing's for sure is that the Philippines is definitely on its way to getting better. We are slowly loving our own skin tones and other skin tones as well. And we're really on our way to progress. But knowing that we're still on our way, we thought that it would be interesting to know what it's like to be black in the Philippines. Without further ado, let's get on to the video.
Hey guys, my name is Ekoh Abigail from Nigeria. I lived in San Fernando City, La Union, and later moved to Manila City. I stayed in the Philippines for 4 years and 6 months of my life.
Hello po, ako po si Felicia. I am a Nigerian. I've been in the Philippines for about 14 years now. Yes, that long. I used to stay in Rizal. That's where we're based the first time I came over to the Philippines.
Hello guys, what's up? My name is Paul, African-American ako, and I'm from the Philippines. Una po sa lahat, ako po yung naninirahan ngayon dito sa Angeles City, Pampanga, kung saan po makikita ang matitikman ang napakasarap na sisig sa buong Pilipinas. 30 years na po ako naninirahan dito.
My name is Abimbola and I am from Nigeria. I lived in the Philippines, Makati to be precise, for 5 years. Within the 5 years, I also had opportunities to travel around the country, and it was one of the best times of my life.
Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Ruth. I'm a Nigerian, a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Nursing from one of the universities here in the Philippines. I graduated last year, September 2021. Currently, I live in Dagupan City, Pangasinan. I've stayed in the Philippines for 6 years and still counting.
Why did you move to the Philippines?
My main aim of moving to the Philippines was to study.
I moved to the Philippines because my parents were sent here to the Philippines to work. I was here with my sisters.
Tulad po na sinabi ko, dito na po ako pinanganak, so hindi ko masasabi ng maayos, pero yung po yung sagot dyan, ever since 1991, dito na po talaga ako.
Actually, I moved to the Philippines because my ex-boyfriend had an opportunity to come work there. So I also followed suit to be closer with him. But on the flip side, I was also studying in Makati.
I moved to the Philippines in pursuit of my dream course. And today, I am already a graduate.
Is there anything that culture shocked you here in the Philippines?
I had a lot of culture shocks in the Philippines, but then I'll just be stating one. Filipinos tend to ask you out on a food date to eat out, then you end up being the one to pay for yourself, and sometimes you will even pay for the person that asked you on a date. In my country, it's not so. When I ask you to eat out with me, it practically means I will be paying. But in the Philippines, when someone say, Abigail, let's eat out, it means, Abigail, put your money in your pocket because it's not gonna go for free.
Actually, marami. Kasi honestly, when I first came here, I was so shocked na yung food nila dito di ganun ka-spicy. Kasi in my country, sobrang hili ko sa manghang. Like, laging manghang yung kinakain namin. So when I got here, I saw na walang hanghang and all that. I was like, oh, okay. Actually, marami akong na-culture shock. Especially given the fact that I'm from Africa and it's Asia. It's a really different world.
Tuloy po sinabi ko kanina, born and raised po dito, so buong buhay ko talagang nasanaw sa culture ng Pilipinas. Yung mga friends ko na half din, na red au pair din. Most of my friends here are half, and I'm telling you, lahat po kami talaga dito parang napaka-bigong Pilipino pati kahit na half kami ganyan kasi bigong Pinoy, diba? Gang gang!
I had a lot of culture shock because I knew nothing about the country. So one thing that I remember so well was the heat, right? Like how sticky and hot it is. I had met other Filipinos. They are always nice and would always say hello to you. The culture shock was how kind and nice the people are. As a foreigner, you feel really welcome. The other culture shock is how Filipinos love rice so much. You know where I come from, we eat rice, but rice with sauce. But you guys just eat ordinary white rice. Like that was always thrilling to me. But today I am in Nigeria and I can comfortably eat white rice. I'm now Filipino, just saying.
When I first came to the Philippines, While I was going with a friend to search for an apartment, I saw a pussycat. Immediately I saw that pussycat, I started praying against it. The friend that was taking me around to search for an apartment, he busted out into laughter. And he told me I better get used to seeing pussycats around because it's a norm. They like pussycats. It serves as pets to them. I said, Jesus. In Nigeria, the sight of pussycats, you start praying against it because back in Nigeria, it's just like the witches are after you. So when I saw that pussycat, I was like, my village people are after me. And today, I'm used to seeing pussycats everywhere. I no longer pray anytime I see pussycats. So another culture shock, seeing most people smoking cigarettes. Back there in Nigeria, if you are seen with the cigarettes, they look at you as someone who is wayward. So when I first came to the Philippines, when I see old people smoking, I look at them in awe, like, what? What are they doing? Now I'm used to seeing everyone smoke.
Have you ever faced any difficulties, struggles, or uncomfortable situations in the Philippines as a Black person?
Being a Black person living in the Philippines, yes, Filipinos are nice people. They are almost the nicest people in the whole world. But then there are still the bad ones that will make me as a Black person feel less of myself. But in all, I still feel the good part of the Philippines is better than the bad part of the Filipinos. I live with it. I enjoyed all my stay in the Philippines.
Siguro sa education part, kasi back then, there weren't a lot of Black people here, and I was like the only Black person in the whole school, so it was really hard for me kasi may discrimination, and there's also like the pressure for me to try to fit in. It's always like I always felt like I was different from everyone. Like, it was really crazy, like when I first came here to the Philippines.
Being Black in the Philippines po, di naman nasabi ko na mahirap, pero nung mga kabataan ko na wala akong idea about racism, like people like calling you the N-word or joking you as a, monkey. Nung bata ka, syempre, parang mo biro lang, di ka maapektuhan. Katagaan lang, some people still make jokes about me, like, some inside racist joke na sometimes just gonna go to a target place and they gonna say like, oh, asang anak. Parang napaka-disrespect ko din kasi. Alam mo, ginagawa mo sama sa'yo, ba't ganun ka mag-approach sa akin? Syempre, kung gusto mong respect mo ako para respecting it. Kasi sabi natin, like, we're gonna educate them about not saying this word, especially the N-word. Some people will listen to you, but sometimes ibang tao kasi, kala nila yung mga sinasabi na parang laro lang, parang katuwaan lang. Kahit ano explain mo sa nila, nahihirapan sila i-gets na parang, bakit? Sarili ko to. May sarili akong freedom of speech. Kasi sila yun eh. Tsaka ako kasi di mo tipong nag-hold ng grudge. Educate them, talk to them that sometimes it's not good to talk bad to other people.
One of the struggles I had as a Black woman in the Philippines was making my hair. It was so difficult. It took me like a year to find a Nigerian hairstylist. So that was one. Number two struggle that I had was the food. Filipino food are sweet. For someone that has sweet tooth and loves sweet food, it is not a problem. But a lot of Filipino food, and you guys do a lot of desserts. We don't even do desserts in Nigeria, like the local delicacies, right? So a lot of Filipino food and a lot of Filipino sweets. And I'm like, oh, no, there's sugar in this. Uncomfortable situations. I had a taxi man. I was coming from Glorieta and we got stuck in that Makati Avenue traffic. He wanted to pee. I was sitting at the back and he opened the container until I realized he started peeing in the container and all of the glasses are closed shut, right? God, I felt like, oh my God, somebody is peeing, and I started feeling it in my mouth, like that caved, right? Because it's a small enclosed space. So I just didn't want to like be dramatic about it. I just quickly wind down the glass and then pretended that never happened.
One of the major challenges I face as a foreigner in the Philippines is visa problem. Another struggle most foreigners face here in the Philippines is not having any job to do as a student foreigner in the Philippines. We are not allowed to work, and not working while studying affects us somehow. We depend solely on our sponsor. Any menial job or anything you are doing, that's just on your own. But for you to pay your tuition, the major fees, is just, we depend solely on our sponsors. And it's really not easy because sometimes when you are broke, you are completely broke until help comes from above. Another struggle also that I face as a foreigner, and I know most foreigners face that struggle as well, is not being entitled to some things. Before you could get some things in the Philippines as a foreigner, you need to have a Filipino or a Filipina. This is the reason you have most foreigners married to Filipinas.
Now that you've experienced living in the Philippines, have your perceptions changed prior to moving here?
Prior to moving to the Philippines, I was told that Philippines is a poor country, and again, I was told a lot of things that I would have problems speaking or interacting with people. I have to learn Tagalog and all those. And when I got to Philippines, I found out it's not so. I learned Tagalog in my school, but then it's not a must to speak Tagalog because 70 to 80% of Filipinos speak English. And also, getting to the Philippines, I get to find out that Filipinos are not as poor as people portray it to be. The Philippines is doing good for itself.
I really did have a weird perception nung papunta ako dito. Kasi akala ko may snow dito. I don't know why. Pero yun lang naman yung naging perception ko here. Pero I realized na this place is actually an island, tropical, like mainit, like right now. So yeah, that's one of the perception that changed.
Born and raised ako dito, pero hindi magbabago yung pananaw sa Pilipinas na kahit sobrang dami kong pinagdaanan dito na hardships, struggles, o ano man. Hindi magbabago kasi kahit pa dito na lumaki, kung Pilipino pa din po ako, kahit na half African American ako, I'm still gonna be Filipino yung isip, sa puso, at sa gawa.
Living in the Philippines was one of the amazing moments of my life, and I've been in Nigeria for a year now, and I am complaining about living in Nigeria so badly because there's so many things that the country is still not doing that I had in the Philippines, like constant electricity, good roads, freedom, how safe the Philippines is. That as a woman, as a single black woman, I could travel by myself and I would not be afraid of anything. But I can't even do that in Nigeria. Since I've been back home, people just ask me, so you lived in the Philippines, what is it like? And I'm like, the people are amazing, the country is beautiful, it's safe to travel, and so much more. There's just this comfort already. I didn't believe that I left the Philippines to come back to Nigeria.
Being that it is among the third world country, just like my own country, but my staying in the Philippines have really changed a lot of things about how I see Philippines. I must confess that I love the Philippines. Yeah, why wouldn't I love the Philippines? I mean, they gave me my dream course. Today I'm a graduate, BSN graduate. It is not easy. So yeah, Philippines is just like my second home.
Knowing that you've lived or are still living in the Philippines, what Filipino words or sentences have you picked up along the way?
Mahal kita. Magandang umaga, magandang gabi, magandang hapon. Anong pagalan? Ang pagalan ko, Ekoh Abigail. I also learned pera, of course, pesos. That is the pera that we all need. Walang pasok, of course, we love that word. I love walang pasok a lot. We hate may pasok. I personally hate may pasok.
One that I get a lot is Maganda. Kumusta, Kanan, there's Kaliwa. When you're going around, let's say I get lost, like when you want to approach someone, you have to do it with respect. So they'll usually say Ate or Kuya. Of course, Maganda, Umaga, Charot. My friends uses that a lot. So these are some of the phrases that I can actually remember.
Guapo, Maganda, Kumusta ka na, Mabuti. Another word I know, of course, is pera. I can never forget that word pera. Love that word pera. Meron pera. Walang pera. These are the few Filipino words I can say off by heart anytime, any day.
Lahat po, lahat. Especially pag sinabi na, kakain na. Pag sinabing kakain na, the word kain, lagi kong lumalakita nyo kasi sarap kumain. O kaya, pag pupunta na sa dagat. Kasi paninirahan sa Pilipinas, pinakagusto sa lahat yung nature. Yung mga tao doon, mga isda, yung mga local. I've been a city person before, pero once you get older, gusto mo na peace. Diba?
As you can see guys, nagkatagalog naman po ako after 14 years, so not shocked there. But I don't know, the first word siguro I ever got to learn was upuan and salamat. Pero ngayon, na fluent naman ako mag-Tagalog. It's a lot of, Filipino words that I'm still trying to learn. So salamat po if you enjoyed this video.